I will now talk on the second aspect, which is the use of the dual use of space technologies, and I'm going to talk about building counter space technologies for the betterment of the space community itself. This is another realm of next generation military operations, also known as space warfare. Military strategists consider space operations as one of the most vital elements of the global power. And it has always been an ultimate vantage point, continues to be so. But the past 2 decades have seen a major shift in the doctrines of space operations, because most of the major powers they're no longer using space as an element of their national strategy. It is becoming the cornerstone of their national strategies as far as defense is concerned. The building up of the space commands have changed into space powers, and all that stuff is happening right at this moment. Now, with that in mind, the space systems have therefore become home to something called as counter space operations, albeit they are all clandestine. It's not authorized. And despite the treaties that forbid weaponization of space, it's still quietly happening somewhere. Satellite grabbing, kinetic killing, energetic destruction of spacecraft are just a few of the offensive counter space operation techniques, and they are known to most of us in this room because something is there and it happens. So, in considering the potential for the duality of this counter space operations, I've particularly selected 2 technologies. The CSO technologies, the first is the directed energy weapons for the anti-satellite operations, and the second is the co-orbital ASAT operations. The concept on which these technologies are based, they use the same mathematical foundations that can adapt them to far greater roles than mere killing of spacecraft. However, to convert a CSO strategy into beneficial space sector, it invariably will begin with a reliable space situational awareness system. At the Air University, we are working to develop temporally reliable and high fidelity SSA with an objective to track down space debris for the global benefit of the space community. In a similar way, the directed energy weapons, for example, can be effectively employed to annihilate space debris that reside in very low, particularly the polar orbits. One of the major space powers has very recently proposed this model, and there is credible scientific evidence to believe that this mission is certainly a possibility. This is supposed to be a counter space strategy, but we are using it. It's been proposed to be used for the benefit of cleaning the environment. And the best tool used is the high energy laser guns. These have been proposed to annihilate smaller debris and disintegrate them to pieces that cannot affect spacecraft in the orbit. Similarly, for larger space debris, the counter space strategy of satellite grabbing can be applied for removal of defunct satellites from the orbit. As a testimony to the doability of this idea, my astrodynamics team sitting here, the mission design team at Aeroflux Lab has recreated the CGN-21 mission, as you can see on the screen. The mission has been designed from its final epoch, and this famous tugging operation of SJ-21, it's been accelerated about 1,000 times, as it will be carried out in a co-orbital rendezvous with a defunct Beidou satellite in a known coplanar GEO orbit. And we can see the SJ-21 slowly descending from its resident orbit, then making a phasing out maneuver. The colors of the different orbits are changing. And then it's going to make a rendezvous with the compass satellite as just made it. And it's going to touch the satellite, compass satellite, into a second phasing orbit, tugging it all the way, and it's going to drop it into the pink colored gravier orbit that was a few hundred kilometers higher. And once it's been dropped, as you can see here, then the CGN SJ-21 made a retro burn and it returned to its original orbit. This is a classical example when an offensive counter space operation strategy can be used for the global good, if you want to do that. Now, taking a cue from this very mission, our Astro team again went on, and this time for the Chalks and Stars startup, they have designed a debris remediation mission for the low Earth orbit. We call it the home capture. Again, accelerated about 1,000 times. The idea is to validate the concept of cleaning the low Earth orbit using about 900 kilo satellites. The space debris has been selected from that wonderful effort done by the European Space Agency's SSA. Data is superb. And we've used an extensive mathematical criterion to pick up the best debris according to the Kessel's criterion. And two mission concepts have been tested here, one for the large angle maneuver and on the right side is the small angle maneuver missions. What was very interesting was the results in terms of the viability of applying these energy maneuvers of tugging these orbits and now burning them into Earth's orbit. Instead of taking them to the graveyard orbit, they will be forcibly descended into the Earth's re-entry orbit. And as you can see, both these satellites, the AUSTR is actually our space debris remediation satellite. So that was actually our mission. Okay, I'll just conclude because I may be running out of time. The dual-use space technologies, both in the hypersonic and the satellite domains, have continued to evolve from military standpoint, relegating the civilian needs. It is our belief that for long-term sustainability, dual-use space technologies must be evolved from the civilian standpoint with added benefits for the military. There is a need to change our perspectives. Hypersonic weapons, with their speed, reach, unpredictability, and a super fast CUDA loop, is a battlefield game changer. Its latest advanced form of China's hypersonic orbiter is a technology worth investing in long term, not just for weapons purpose, but for hypersonic transportation system for the global community. Counter space technologies, they offer definite strategic advantage to military, but it is more important to use their dual role, and they should be invested in cleaning up the space debris by using debris remediation techniques. Unfortunately, the last part is that amidst all the goods that is possible from the dual technologies, the presence of BrahMos family of hypersonic weapons, the hypersonic test demonstration vehicle that is coming out from the neighborhood, all have the potential to drag South Asia into another undesirable, unfortunate arms race. And this will be supported additionally by the ever-growing constellation of military satellites. But unfortunately, that will drag Pakistan along with it too. And we have no option because minimum credible deterrence will still have to be maintained. However, what our region needs is that both India and Pakistan should sit together. We have B9 forums like SAR, Science and Technology Committees. They need to be activated. They need to be energized. They need to be given the mandate to build up civilian use startups so that space technologies can be built up in the region for the global growth of this community. As a sample, we have done some maths here, and we can see that Pakistan's southern coastal region can offer an excellent opportunity as a commercial spaceport for handling polar inclined to 24-degree launches. And this would be in both posigrade and retrograde orbits, that is east-west launches, both from the same spaceport. That's a big facility if a country can offer that. And I'm sure that no space investment company would ever like to overlook this opportunity. Thank you.